The power of simple rules, unlocking your potential. Ever wondered how a few simple rules can change your life? It's a fascinating question, isn't it? We often search for complex solutions to our challenges, believing that the bigger the problem, the more intricate the answer must be. But what if the most profound transformations stem from the simplest of frameworks? What if a handful of easy-to-remember guidelines could redirect our energy, sharpen our focus, and ultimately reshape our future? I believe they can, and the evidence is all around us, often hidden in plain sight. From the 5x5 rule, designed to help us manage our daily worries, to the legendary 10,000-hour rule, which speaks to the dedication required for true mastery, numbers have a magical way of turning the impossible into possible. These aren't just arbitrary figures, they are distillations of wisdom, observations of how effort and time compound to create remarkable outcomes. They provide a structure, a pathway, transforming abstract goals into concrete, actionable steps. When we understand these rules, we gain a new lens through which to view our progress and our potential. Today, let's explore these powerful rules together. We'll delve into how each one works, why it's effective, and most importantly, how you can integrate them into your own life. My goal is for you to leave this video not just informed, but inspired and equipped to unlock your potential, 1 minute, 1 hour, 1 day at a time. Because true, lasting change isn't about giant leaps, it's about small, consistent steps, guided by principles that stand the test of time. The 5x5 rule, reclaiming your energy for what truly matters. Let's start with a rule that can bring immediate relief and clarity to your daily life, the 5x5 rule. It's beautifully simple. If a situation, a worry, or a problem won't matter in 5 years, don't spend more than 5 minutes worrying about it. Think about that for a moment. How much of our precious mental and emotional energy is consumed by fleeting concerns, minor annoyances, or anxieties about outcomes that, in the grand scheme of things, will have little to no bearing on our long-term well-being or success? This rule is a powerful filter. The core idea here is about strategic allocation of your most valuable resources, your time and your attention. Every minute you spend dwelling on something insignificant is a minute you can't invest in something that truly counts towards your growth, your happiness, or your significant goals. It's not about suppressing emotions or ignoring problems entirely, rather it's about developing a keen sense of perspective. It's about asking yourself with honesty, will this truly impact my life 5 years from now? Often the answer is a resounding no. That frustrating email, the minor disagreement, the traffic jam that made you late, these are the kinds of things that can hijack our mood and derail our focus. The 5x5 rule encourages you to acknowledge the feeling, briefly assess the situation, and if it doesn't pass the 5-year test, consciously decide to release it and redirect your energy. This isn't always easy, especially in the heat of the moment, but like any skill, it improves with practice. Consider the cumulative effect of applying this rule. Imagine reclaiming dozens, if not hundreds, of 5-minute blocks of time and energy each week. What could you do with that reclaimed capacity? You could invest it in learning something new, connecting with a loved one, working on a passion project, or simply enjoying a moment of peace. It's about making a conscious trade, swapping short-term agitation for long-term focus and well-being. This rule helps you build a system for emotional regulation. The beauty of the 5x5 rule lies in its immediacy and its practicality. It doesn't require elaborate planning or complex tools. It's a mental model you can deploy anytime, anywhere. When you feel that familiar surge of worry or frustration, pause, take a breath, invoke the rule. This pause creates a space between stimulus and response, and in that space lies your power to choose a more constructive path. It's a small habit that can lead to a significant shift in your overall stress levels. Think of your mental energy like a financial budget. You have a finite amount each day. Would you spend a significant portion of your money on things that offer no lasting value or return? Probably not. The 5x5 rule helps you apply that same fiscal prudence to your mental and emotional expenditure. It encourages you to be a wise investor of your internal resources, channeling them towards activities and thoughts that align with your deeper values and aspirations. This rule also cultivates a greater sense of agency. Instead of feeling like a victim of circumstance tossed about by every minor upset, you become an active participant in managing your internal state. You learn to differentiate between genuine threats or significant problems that require your sustained attention and the everyday static that can be safely tuned out. This discernment is a hallmark of emotional intelligence and resilience. Furthermore, by consistently applying the 5x5 rule, you are, in essence, training your brain to prioritize. You're teaching it to look beyond the immediate and consider the longer trajectory. This long-term perspective is crucial not just for managing stress, but for achieving any meaningful goal. It helps you stay focused on the bigger picture, preventing you from getting bogged down in the trivialities that can so easily derail progress. So the next time you find yourself caught in a loop of worry over something relatively minor, ask the question, will this matter in 5 years? If not, give it its 5 minutes, perhaps jot down a quick action if one is truly needed, and then consciously shift your focus. You're not just saving 5 minutes, you're preserving your peace and redirecting your power towards what truly builds the life you want. Ultimately, the 5x5 rule is an act of self-respect. It's a declaration that your time, your energy, and your peace of mind are too valuable to be squandered on things that won't contribute to your long-term story. It's a small system for making better emotional decisions, and as we know, it's these small systems, practiced consistently, that lead to profound transformations in how we experience our lives. Save your energy for what truly counts. The 10x10 rule, fortifying your inner peace against future insignificance. Building upon the wisdom of the 5x5 rule, let's explore its slightly more expansive cousin, the 10x10 rule. This rule states if something won't matter in 10 years, don't give it more than 10 minutes of your peace today. Notice the subtle but significant shift here. We're extending the time frame, asking for an even broader perspective and specifically focusing on safeguarding our peace. This rule challenges us to consider the truly long arc of our lives. The 10x10 rule is particularly potent for dealing with setbacks, disappointments, or perceived failures that feel significant in the moment but may fade into relative insignificance over a decade. Think about a job rejection, a project that didn't go as planned, or a social slight that stings. While these experiences are undoubtedly painful, the 10x10 rule invites us to step back and assess their true long-term impact on our overall life narrative. Giving something 10 minutes of your peace is an interesting concept. It's not just about not worrying, it's about consciously deciding how much of your internal tranquility you're willing to sacrifice for a particular issue. Peace is a precious state, essential for clear thinking, creativity, and overall well-being. This rule acts as a gatekeeper, helping you protect that inner calm from being eroded by events that, with the passage of a decade, will likely be mere footnotes in your story. Consider the things you were deeply concerned about 10 years ago. How many of them genuinely affect your daily life or happiness today? For most of us, the list is surprisingly short. Many of the anxieties that once consumed us have either resolved themselves, been forgotten, or turned out to be far less catastrophic than we imagined. The 10x10 rule leverages this hindsight, allowing us to apply that wisdom proactively. Applying this rule requires a degree of emotional discipline and a commitment to long-term thinking. When faced with a distressing situation, the immediate emotional response can be overwhelming. The 10x10 rule provides a framework to process that emotion without letting it dictate your entire state of being. It allows you to acknowledge the hurt or frustration, give it a contained amount of your attention, the 10 minutes, and then consciously work to shift your focus. This isn't about invalidating your feelings, it's about contextualizing them. It's perfectly natural to feel upset when things go wrong. The key is to prevent that upset from metastasizing into a prolonged period of distress that robs you of your present peace and future productivity. Those 10 minutes can be used for reflection, for feeling the emotion, perhaps for brainstorming a constructive next step, but then a line is drawn. Think of this rule as a form of mental hygiene. Just as we regularly clear out physical clutter to maintain a pleasant living space, the 10x10 rule helps us clear out mental clutter that doesn't serve our long-term well-being. It prevents the accumulation of unresolved grievances or anxieties that can weigh us down over time. It's a system for maintaining a more serene and focused internal environment. Moreover, the 10x10 rule can be incredibly empowering when making decisions or facing criticism. If you're hesitating to take a chance because of fear of a particular outcome, ask yourself, if this goes wrong, will it still be a major issue for me in 10 years? Often, the potential negative outcome, when viewed through this long-term lens, shrinks in significance, making it easier to take calculated risks and pursue growth. This rule also fosters resilience. By repeatedly practicing the art of letting go of things that won't matter in the long run, you strengthen your ability to bounce back from adversity. You learn that most setbacks are temporary, and that your capacity to endure and adapt is greater than you might think. Each time you successfully apply the 10 by 10 rule, you build a little more evidence for your own strength. Ultimately, the 10 by 10 rule is about cultivating a profound sense of perspective. It's about understanding that life is a long game and that our present peace is a vital resource for navigating that journey successfully. By consciously limiting the time and emotional energy we dedicate to decade-distant trivialities, we free ourselves to invest in what truly shapes a fulfilling life: our relationships, our growth, our contributions, and our present joy. It's a commitment to not letting the transient overshadow the timeless. Chapter 3. Now, let's shift our focus from managing worries to actively building skills. This brings us to the Rule of 100, a wonderfully encouraging principle for anyone looking to learn something new or improve an existing talent. The rule states, spend just 18 minutes a day on any skill, and in a year you'll be better than 95% of people. This might sound almost too good to be true, but it's rooted in the power of consistency and the aggregation of marginal gains. 18 minutes a day. That's roughly 1% of your day. It's a small enough chunk of time that it feels incredibly manageable, even on busy days. It's less than a typical TV show episode, probably less time than you spend scrolling through social media. Yet, this modest daily investment, when applied consistently over the course of a year, accumulates to approximately 100 hours of focused practice. Why does this make you better than 95% of people? Because most people don't do it. Most people dabble. They start with enthusiasm, practice intensely for a few days or weeks, and then life gets in the way, and the new skill falls by the wayside. The Rule of 100 isn't about intensity. It's about unwavering consistency. It's about showing up for those 18 minutes, day in and day out. This commitment is what separates those who make progress from those who merely wish for it. Think about any skill you'd like to acquire or improve: learning a musical instrument, writing, coding, a new language, painting, public speaking, even a physical skill like yoga or juggling. The initial barrier to entry often feels high, but breaking it down into 18-minute daily sessions makes it approachable. It lowers the activation energy required to get started, which is often the hardest part. I can do anything for 18 minutes, you might tell yourself. The magic isn't just in the accumulated hours, but in the daily reinforcement of the habit. Each 18-minute session is a vote for the type of person you want to become. Someone who is a learner, someone who is disciplined, someone who is committed to growth. This identity-based approach to habit formation is incredibly powerful. You're not just practicing a skill, you're embodying the characteristics of a skilled individual. Furthermore, daily practice, even in short bursts, leverages the way our brains learn. Spaced repetition and regular engagement help to consolidate learning and move information from short-term to long-term memory. Those 18 minutes allow for focused effort without leading to burnout or mental fatigue, making the learning process more efficient and sustainable. It's about quality of practice, not just quantity in a single session. Consider the compound effect. Each day you get a tiny bit better. These small improvements might be imperceptible on a day-to-day basis, but over a year they stack up to create a significant transformation. It's like a snowball rolling down a hill. It starts small, but with consistent momentum it grows exponentially. This is the principle I explore in Atomic Habits: small changes, remarkable results. The better than 95% figure is, of course, an estimation, but it highlights a crucial, truth-sustained, focused effort. Even in small doses, places you in a select group. Most people overestimate what they can do in a day, but underestimate what they can achieve in a year through consistent, small actions. The Rule of 100 flips this script, emphasizing the long-term power of daily diligence. To make this rule work for you, the key is to define the skill clearly and to make those 18 minutes non-negotiable. Schedule it if you have to. Prepare for it. Eliminate distractions during that time. Treat it as a sacred appointment with your future self. The consistency is what builds the momentum and delivers the results. It's about building a system, for skill acquisition. So, what skill could you dedicate 18 minutes to starting today? Imagine where you could be in a year. The Rule of 100 offers a clear, accessible path to significant improvement. It demystifies the process of learning and places remarkable progress within everyone's reach. It's a testament to the idea that small, smart habits, compounded over time, are the most reliable route to excellence. Chapter 4. If the Rule of 100 opens the door to significant improvement, the Rule of 1000 invites us to walk the path toward a much higher level of proficiency. This rule suggests that if you invest approximately 2 3/4 hours a day, which is about 1,000 hours a year, into a specific skill or field, you can reach the top 1% in that area. This is a substantial step up in commitment, demanding a greater investment of time and energy, but the potential rewards are correspondingly greater. 2 3/4 hours a day. This is no longer a casual pursuit. It's a serious dedication. It's the kind of commitment that often distinguishes professionals from hobbyists, experts from enthusiasts. Accumulating 1,000 hours of focused effort in a single year requires deliberate planning, prioritization, and a willingness to make sacrifices in other areas of life. It's a clear signal that you are deeply serious about developing this particular competence. Reaching the top 1% in any field is a significant achievement. It implies a level of skill and knowledge that is rare and highly valued. The Rule of 1000 provides a tangible, albeit challenging, roadmap for how one might approach such an ambitious goal within a relatively short time frame of 1 year. It quantifies the dedication needed, moving it from a vague aspiration to a concrete target of daily effort. The quality of these 2 3/4 hours is paramount. This isn't just about passively spending time, it's about engaging in what Anders Ericsson called deliberate practice. This means focused, intentional effort aimed at improving specific aspects of your performance. It involves pushing yourself beyond your current comfort zone, seeking feedback, identifying weaknesses, and working systematically to address them. Simply putting in the hours without this focused intent will yield far lesser results. Think about the implications of dedicating nearly 3 hours a day to one thing. It forces you to be incredibly selective about what you choose to focus on. You can't apply this level of intensity to multiple pursuits simultaneously without risking burnout or superficial progress in all of them. The Rule of 1000 encourages a deep dive, a concentrated effort to master the intricacies of a chosen domain. This level of commitment also necessitates building robust systems around your practice. You'll need to manage your time effectively, protect your focus from distractions, and ensure you have the resources and environment conducive to deep work. It might involve structuring your day differently, saying no to other commitments, and cultivating habits that support sustained concentration and energy levels. It's about designing your life to support this ambitious endeavor. The journey of accumulating 1,000 focused hours in a year is transformative, not just for your skill level, but for your identity. You become the person who dedicates themselves to this craft. This deep immersion fosters a profound understanding, an intuitive grasp of the subject matter that simply cannot be achieved through more sporadic or superficial engagement. You begin to see patterns, make connections, and develop insights that are characteristic of high-level performers. While the top 1% is an aspirational benchmark, the underlying principle is about achieving a level of competence that sets you apart. Whether it's in your career, a creative pursuit, or a complex hobby, dedicating 1,000 hours of deliberate practice will undoubtedly elevate you to a very high standard. It's a testament to what focused human effort can accomplish when sustained over a significant period. This rule also underscores the importance of passion and genuine interest. Sustaining 2 3/4 hours of daily practice in something you don't truly care about would be an arduous, if not impossible, task. The intrinsic motivation that comes from a deep engagement with the subject matter is crucial fuel for this kind of intensive effort. It's what helps you push through challenges and maintain consistency when progress feels slow. So if you have a field or skill where you aspire to reach a truly exceptional level, the Rule of 1000 offers a challenging but clear metric for the dedication required. It's a call to deep work, to focused intensity, and to the kind of commitment that can transform you from a proficient individual into a recognized expert in your chosen domain within a remarkably short period. It's about aiming high and backing that ambition with substantial, consistent action. Chapter 5. Finally, we arrive at perhaps the most well-known and sometimes misunderstood of these numerical guides, the 10,000-hour rule. Popularized by Malcolm Gladwell in Outliers, based on the research of Anders Ericsson, this rule suggests that true mastery in any complex field typically requires around 10,000 hours of deliberate practice. If you were to practice for roughly 3 hours a day, this would translate to about 10 years of dedicated effort. Every expert, the saying goes, started with a single hour. The 10,000-hour figure is not a magic number that guarantees success, nor is it a rigid, unyielding law. Rather, it serves as a powerful illustration of the immense dedication, perseverance, and time investment that typically underpins world-class expertise. It highlights that mastery is not an overnight phenomenon, but the result of a long, sustained journey of focused effort. It's a marathon, not a sprint. What does 10,000 hours of practice look like? It's approximately 20 hours a week for 10 years, or 40 hours a week for 5 years. This is a commitment on the scale of a full-time job. It underscores that becoming a true master, someone at the pinnacle of their field, requires more than just talent. It demands an extraordinary level of sustained, high-quality work. It's about depth, not just breadth of experience. Crucially, as with the rule of 1,000, the quality of these hours is paramount. It's not just about accumulating time, it's about engaging in deliberate practice. This means constantly pushing your boundaries, seeking out challenges that stretch your current abilities, meticulously analyzing your performance, learning from mistakes, and continuously refining your approach. Without this intentional, focused effort, 10,000 hours can be spent treading water rather than advancing towards mastery. The journey to 10,000 hours is a profound commitment that shapes not only your skills, but also your character. It cultivates discipline, resilience, patience, and an unwavering focus on long-term goals. It requires developing systems and habits that support this sustained effort over years, often in the face of setbacks, plateaus, and periods where progress seems imperceptible. It's about falling in love with the process, not just the outcome. Think about the experts you admire in any field: music, science, art, sports, business. Their seemingly effortless performances or groundbreaking discoveries are almost invariably built upon a foundation of countless hours of hidden work, of relentless practice and refinement. The 10,000-hour rule reminds us that what we see as overnight success is often the culmination of a decade or more of dedicated preparation. This rule also provides a valuable perspective when we feel impatient with our own progress. Mastery takes time. It's a gradual unfolding, a slow accumulation of skill and insight. Understanding this can help us to be more compassionate with ourselves during the learning process and to maintain motivation when faced with the inevitable challenges and frustrations that come with striving for excellence. It encourages a long-term view. Furthermore, the 10,000-hour rule emphasizes that expertise is built, not born. While innate talents and predispositions can play a role, the primary driver of high achievement is sustained, focused effort. This is an empowering message because it places the locus of control largely within ourselves. If we are willing to put in the work, to dedicate the time, and to engage in deliberate practice, extraordinary levels of skill become attainable. It's also important to remember that the journey begins with the first hour, the first small step. No expert started at 9,999 hours. They all began as novices, taking those initial, often fumbling steps. The key is to start, to build momentum, and to create a system that allows for consistent practice over the long haul. Each hour invested is a building block in the edifice of mastery. So while the 10,000-hour rule might seem daunting, it should also be seen as an inspiring testament to human potential. It quantifies the path to the highest levels of achievement, reminding us that dedication consistently applied over time can lead to extraordinary outcomes. It's a call to commit to the long game, to embrace the journey of continuous improvement, and to understand that every expert in every field once started right where you are with that very first hour of practice. As we've explored these simple yet profound rules, from managing our worries with the 5x5 rule to envisioning the path to mastery with the 10,000-hour rule, a common thread emerges: the immense power held within small, consistent actions and focused units of time. What if you truly embraced this? What if you consciously traded a few minutes of worry, those fleeting anxieties that steal your peace, for a few minutes of learning, of growth, of deliberate practice towards something meaningful? Imagine the cumulative impact. What if you invested your precious time in your dreams, not in distractions that offer fleeting pleasure but no lasting value? Your future isn't some distant abstract concept written in years. It's being forged right now, in this very moment. It's written in minutes well spent, in hours dedicated to purpose, in days lived with intention. Each rule we discussed offers a framework, a lens to help you make those minutes count. The journey to unlocking your potential isn't about waiting for the perfect moment or a grand revelation. It's about starting where you are, with what you have, and applying these principles consistently. The power to change, to grow, to achieve lies in the small decisions you make every single day. It's about the systems you build, the habits you cultivate, and the unwavering belief that incremental progress sustained over time leads to remarkable transformations. Minutes matter. Each one is an opportunity. Consistency compounds. Small efforts repeated daily create extraordinary results. Mastery is a marathon, not a sprint. Embrace the journey. So, what rule will you start with today? Which small change will you implement that can set a new trajectory for your life? Ready to rewrite your story 1 minute at a time? The world is waiting for what you have to offer. Start now.